For centuries, the Greek gods were seen as eternal, unchanging, unquestionable. They ruled the skies, the seas, and the underworld, and no force in the universe seemed capable of challenging their power. But there was a day, one forgotten by many, when the gods of Olympus looked at one another and realized something terrifying. They could lose, not to humans, not to time, but to beings born from the same chaos that created them. This is the story of the conflict that nearly destroyed Olympus and proved that even the gods were not invincible. Long before Zeus ruled from his throne of thunder, the universe was young and unstable. Power did not belong to order yet. It belonged to strength. The earliest beings in Greek mythology were not gods as we imagine them today. They were forces, raw, overwhelming, and violent. From this chaos came the Titans, vast, ancient beings who shaped the world through sheer might. Cronus, king of the Titans, ruled the cosmos with fear. He had overthrown his own father Uranus and learned a brutal lesson from that act. Power could be taken, and prophecy warned him that one of his own children would do the same. So Cronus did what many rulers throughout history have done when faced with the fear of replacement. He tried to stop the future. Each time one of his children was born, he swallowed them whole. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, all consumed, locked away inside their father, frozen in time. But the future cannot be swallowed forever. When Zeus was born, his mother, Rhea, made a choice that would change the fate of the universe. She hid the child, gave Cronus a stone instead, and waited. Zeus grew in secret, raised far from the reach of the Titans. And when the time came, he returned, not as a child, but as a challenge. With deception and force, Zeus freed his siblings. Together, they stood against the Titans in a war unlike anything the cosmos had ever seen. The Titanomachy lasted 10 years, 10 years of mountains thrown like weapons, seas boiled. The sky itself cracked under the strain. In the end, Zeus and the Olympians won. The Titans were defeated, cast into Tartarus, and sealed away. Olympus was born from that victory, and the gods believed the war was over forever. They were wrong, because beneath the earth, in the depths, even gods feared to look into, something else remained: the giants. Born from the blood of Uranus when he was wounded, the giants were not Titans, but they were just as ancient, just as violent. And unlike the Titans, they carried a prophecy of their own. The giants could not be defeated by gods alone. To the Olympians, this prophecy was not a challenge. It was a nightmare. The Gigantomachy, the war between gods and giants, was not a rebellion. It was an extinction-level threat. When the giants rose, they did not seek to rule Olympus. They sought to destroy it. They hurled burning trees, tore apart landscapes, and challenged the gods directly. For the first time since the Titan War, Olympus shook. Gods were wounded, not embarrassed, not humbled, wounded. Athena faced giants who matched her strength. Ares, the god of war himself, struggled in combat. Even Zeus, armed with thunder, could not end the conflict alone. This was the moment the gods feared, because the prophecy was true. They could not win without human help. So the immortals turned to a mortal, Heracles, half god, half human. The very thing the gods often looked down upon became their salvation. Together, gods and mortal fought side by side. Giants fell not only to divine weapons, but to arrows and strength guided by human will. And Olympus survived. But survival came at a cost. After the Gigantomachy, something fundamental changed. The gods had won, but not alone. They had seen their limits. They had felt fear. And from that moment on, Greek mythology takes a darker tone. The gods become more controlling, more cautious, less forgiving. Prometheus is punished for giving fire to humans. Humans are tested, punished, wiped out, and reshaped. Curiosity becomes dangerous. Knowledge becomes forbidden because the gods remembered the day they almost fell. They remembered that power could be shared, and that scared them more than monsters ever could. This is why Greek myths are filled with warnings. Do not challenge the gods. Do not rise too high. Do not forget your place. These are not just moral lessons. They are echoes of fear, the fear of beings who once believed themselves eternal and learned they were not. Olympus did not fall that day, but it cracked, and through that crack, humanity entered the story forever. Because from that moment on, the gods were no longer alone at the top. They were watching below, and they were afraid of what might rise next.